understanding security behaviors via gamification. And Fatma Al Lawati, who's the Assistant Manager IT GRC at Oman Air, will be sharing with us her thoughts. So let's get that going.
Thank you for joining us today. It's a great honor and pleasure to be talking today in Wicked 6 conference. My name is Fatma Al Lawati. I will be talking about understanding cybersecurity behaviors using gamification. Let's start with the presentation. So, today's session is understanding cybersecurity behavior using gamification. And I have divided the session into 4 main topics. First, we'll be identifying the meaning of cybersecurity gamification. I will be showcasing one of the case studies of implementing the gamification technique in the awareness, what the benefit I have gained while implementing this technique. And finally, I will be talking about the best techniques that you can use to implement the gamification technique in your awareness program in the organization. So first, let's define what is cybersecurity gamification. It's turning the learning experience into something different, into a game. So I'm turning the traditional awareness experience of brochures, emails, one-to-one or one-to-many session into a game in order to motivate the user to play, in order to motivate the user to get the knowledge. How can I motivate the user to play this game? I can make it as a competition. This competition could be among their peers, could be among different departments inside the organization. I can give points whenever that user answers the question, whenever he solves one of the equations, whenever they identify a threat or they identify a weakness. When they are reaching the limits of the points or the maximum level of the point, they transfer to another level. Whenever they have completed 5 or 10 levels, they get badges. And whenever they have multiple badges, that makes them a winner or they can compete with their peers. So in 2019, I introduced the gamification technique in my organization, of course, after getting the management approval. So while searching what is the best gamification technique or how can I introduce this, I came across a game called Targeted Attack the Game. It's a free educational game brought by Trend Micro. You can even search it in Google and you will easily find it. And I have even also kept the link if you would like to go through it. So what's the concept of this game? Well, basically, it's a story of an organization. It's a new organization where they need to build the security infrastructure. So based on the decision that the players is doing, the scenario of the game change or the scenario of the story change. So either you win the game by protecting the organization from any kind of attacks, or the organization gets attacked by one of the hackers and you lose the game. When I introduced it to the employees, they were super excited to play such a game. Even while they are walking through the corridor, they were like, we remember last month, we remember last 4 months that you came up with a game. When we are playing again, when you are coming up with the next game, so we want to win. We need to increase our win streak. We need to identify new weaknesses. So this has helped me in identifying the mindset of the employees. It helped me identify the maturity level of the organization. And also during this game, I was able to understand the weakness point of certain departments, of certain employees. So the next year, I created my own game. So it was a virtual security awareness scavenger called Who's the Culprit? So why did I create it first of all virtual? As you know, by 2020, COVID pandemic came, and we were all working from home, and we were all separated. I needed to combine them to unite the employees again back, to refresh their mindset in cybersecurity, in awareness of information security. So I came up with this they have to scavenger, they have to identify a weakness point. So what was the story of this game? Well, basically, there is an organization that got attacked by one of the hackers. So the duty of the players, they were like a group of players, they need to identify the weakness points that triggered or started the attacking attempt. It was all virtually, it was all developed inside the organization, and the employees were actually really happy because what I have done, I have combined some of the mistakes or the main mistakes that they were doing it in the previous game, and I returned it back in this version. So they were able to identify. They said, "Oh, last time we did this mistake. This time we are not going to do this mistake," and they were answering right. But the question is, what's the difference between the traditional scavenger that we are used to it and the cybersecurity or awareness scavenger? Well, in the traditional scavenger, the theme of it, it's based on a reality and function. We are usually trying to practice problem solving, team building activities by having multiple tasks, could be physical, could be quizzes, the number of participants not more than 6, and usually the time of the game is only 60 minutes. And we usually don't use any kind of technical devices or computers. In the other hand, in security awareness scavenger, the theme of the scavenger should be a work environment or a workplace environment. Why is that? Because usually in this kind of games, we are trying to change the mindset of the employees. We are trying to make an administrator an employee, such as a finance or an HR, to be a cybersecurity specialist, to be a cybersecurity professional, to work as a detective, to collect evidence, to try to identify the weakness and the threats that are in the organization. We are trying to create exercises related to increasing the knowledge of cybersecurity. And the number of participants, it's between 8 or 10, and in some case scenarios it was more than that. And what I have noticed, the more the players are in the scavenger hunt, the more people are excited to play. There are more discussion. They are trying to argue. They are trying to prove themselves whether they are right, whether the concept that they're talking about is right or wrong. And usually we don't make it more than 30 minutes. Why is that? Because we need management support. We need the managers to instruct their employees to come. So for them to give a 30-minute break for the employee to come and attend a scavenger hunt, they are totally fine with it because this will help them to increase the knowledge. That's one. The second, the work environment or the work does not stop. It's like a 30-minute break an employee takes, but this time instead of having cup of tea and chit chat, the employee will have cup of tea while he's playing a game. And it's unnecessary to use the computer devices because in this case it was a virtual scavenger, but even if we're doing it as a physical security scavenger, it requires some devices in order for them to crack some passwords or stuffs like that. So what I have gained from creating this scavenger, before talking about the benefits, let me talk to you first about the steps of developing the security awareness scavenger. If you're interested to create it in your organization, first of all, you need to identify the level of security awareness in your organization. You need to identify the employees' level of security, the maturity level of the organization. What are the weakness points that you need to target first? How can you identify this? Well, basically, in this scenario, I was able to identify the weaknesses that I need to mention based on the first game that I have created, based on the incidents that I have received while working. And of course, I will be asking my team members if they're receiving any kind of incidents. Plus, based on the clarifications and the information that and the questions they are asking and the information they are requesting from us, I was able to identify the weakness point that I need to trigger in the employees in order to change their mindset. But in my case, the employees' maturity level was medium to high. So I started implementing some more mature information. Like when I was talking about phishing, I wasn't just talking about phishing. I started adding vishing, smishing, and all type of phishing because they are not only receiving by emails, by phone call, by SMS, by stuffs like that, because they were ready to get this kind of information. And then I need to identify the requirement elements. What elements do I need? What things I need to prepare? How exactly I will be building it? Whether it's a what whether it's a virtual or physical. If it's a virtual, where will I be creating the website? Who will be creating the website? Where the website will be hosted? What my requirement? All this is stuff I have to list in them. There. Then the third step, I have to build the scenario. In this scenario, it will be the story or the task and exercises that will be implemented inside the scenario for the employees to start playing. And once the scenario is ready, I will be preparing the simulated environment. If it's a virtual, then I will be preparing the website. If it's a physical, then I have to prepare the area. After preparation, I need to do a quick test and checkup to make sure everything is fine, and then I can publish it or can I initiate the game for the employees. So what's the benefits I have gained? First of all, I was able to collect a lot of data regarding user behavior. It allowed me to understand what employees need, where are the weaknesses points, what's the strength points on them, why they are making such kind of mistakes always, or they are repetition of the behaviors of bad behaviors of the employees, and how can I change it. Second, it helped me to accelerate changing the behavior of the employees, because some of the employees they were making mistakes in the first game. When the same question or some similar situation came in the second game, they stopped. They said, no, I remember last time we did this mistake. This time I'm not going to do it. This time I have searched for the right answer, and this is the right answer, and I'm sure of it. That helped me to measure actually the effectiveness of the gamification technique. It helped me to measure the how the mindset is changing very quick, and it also increases the engagement between the peers, because when one of them is 100% sure of his or her question, they will be starting arguing, discussing to convince everybody in the team that this is the right question, or this is the right answer, or this is the wrong answer. And I have noticed that the retention period of the information have been very high. Like there was a year gap between the first and the second game. But I can say 50% of the employees were still remembering some of the information that I have provided in the first. And it motivates them to learn more, to increase their knowledge, to go and search if they are answering wrong, and motivate them to learn and discuss with their employees with a lot of confidence. And in one of the scenarios that I have faced, they were very convinced of the right answer. In a way, they said, go and ask Fatima. If she said yes, then that's it. She is the professional. I told them, I'm just a moderator of the game. I cannot say yes or no. But they were super convinced of their answers because they have did a very deep research about it. So how can you implement the gamification technique in your organization? First, you have to define the objectives. What's the need, or what's the objectives of me creating this game? What issues I need to solve? What weaknesses that I need to trigger or to mention in my organization? And secondly, you need to define the end user. What employees will be attending? Are they technical? Are they administrator? Combination of both? What are their maturity level? What kind of work they are doing? Make the game short. Don't exceed the 30 minutes. Make it interactive so they can have fun in it. Make it quick. Use a timer so they can think faster. Because as we know, cybersecurity incident happened in a very fast manner. So we need to teach even the employees that they have to react fast in case if they saw an incident and how they can fix it. Make the game consistent. Don't repeat it, but make it connected between a game and a second game so they can interconnect between them and then it become consistent. Always implement the rewarding program. Whenever there is a winner, you will need to have a rewarding. This rewarding could be um, a voucher, it could be a certificate, it could be a badge, as I have mentioned earlier. It could be a cup of tea meeting with the head of the department or head of the organization. It could be a voucher for a dinner. You never know. It all depends on the budget that you have. Keep it fun. Fun have to be within the competition, discussion with the employees, talking, chit-chatting so they can get more knowledge. That's all from me. Thank you so much for listening for today's session. I hope you gained knowledge and learned something new. For any clarification or any questions, feel free to contact me through my LinkedIn account or through the Discord channel, and I will be more than happy to answer your question. Thank you so much for your time and have a lovely day. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Fatma, for helping us to understand cybersecurity behaviors through gamification.